Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
It's election day in Metro Detroit, from high-stakes races to critical proposals. Tonight's results could shape the future of your community. We're live with everything you need to know as the final votes are cast.
And face-to-face in court, a double murder suspect reacts to the testimony of a gunshot victim who says she was part of a home invasion attack that left 2 other people dead. Thanks for joining us for the News at 6. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Siobhan Vinson is one of 3 people charged in this case, along with 2 men who were allegedly there with her that day at a home in Northfield Township.
They're all charged with murder, attempted murder, and kidnapping. A foster child that lived in the home is Vinson's biological child. Let's get out to Pamela Osborne. She was in court today and joins us live now to break down what happened. Pamela.
Well, we heard from Jeffrey Bernhard. He was one of the survivors, the lone survivor, and his testimony was chilling. He describes what was a quiet New Year's Day at home until armed intruders entered into his house. He identified one of those intruders as Siobhan Vinson, the mother of his foster child. He then described his own child, a 9-year-old, being made to stand by her side as she shot him and his wife.
She made threats that she would come to our house and take her daughter.
Jeffrey Bernhard testified Siobhan Vinson followed through with those threats on New Year's Day. As an animated, Vinson reacted. He describes an unknown vehicle pulling into their Northfield Township driveway sometime after dinner. The Bernhards thought it was an Amazon delivery driver, but there was a commotion at the front door.
So when I heard the scream, I immediately turned around and walked back into the kitchen and saw 3 individuals in the house with weapons.
His father-in-law, 74-year-old Stevie Smith, was ordered to lie down on the ground of another room while he and his wife Jennifer were forced into the kitchen. He says Vinson had a lot to say and directed her accomplices, Gregory Callahan and Keith Finley, along the way.
Words like, I'm a gangster. I planned this all out. I don't care if I spend the rest of my life in jail. I still have the ability to harm you, even behind bars.
He says they tried to de-escalate the situation, handed over money and banking information at Vinson's request.
My wife, in a calm, but you could tell that there was fear in her voice. She said, "Please, Siobhan, don't do anything you'll regret." And that just triggered Siobhan, and she got very angry, and she said something along the lines, "I'll show you what I'll regret." And then, from what I remember, right after that is when I was shot in the head.
Jeffrey says he came to about 15 minutes later. He could tell his wife Jennifer was already gone.
Probably one of the hardest things is as I sat there and I was putting my shoes on, I looked over and saw my wife. And I knew the moment I saw her, she was dead.
And we also heard from officers and sheriff's deputies who found the missing girls and found Vinson, who they say had a handgun underneath her arm at the time of her arrest. They also testified that she said, quote, she admitted to shooting, quote, whoever was in that house. She is facing 11 charges. She's being held in jail until trial. Pre-trial date has been set for October 1st. Reporting live in Ann Arbor, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
The more we learn, the more chilling it all becomes. Pamela, thank you.
Well, tonight it's not just a haze on the horizon, it's a warning in the air. Metro Detroit is breathing in something we can't see hour by hour, but it's there, creeping in our lungs, our summer camps, and our routines.
So bad. You can smell it out there. And while this isn't new, what's changing is who it's affecting and how fast. We begin with what the numbers aren't showing you and the people now paying the price. Right now, from Wayne and Oakland counties to Washtenaw and heading all the way up north, you can see that thick smoke, grit, particles in the air.
And as of today, Wayne County has had 17 days with an air quality alert or advisory in 2025. And with the Canadian wildfire showing no signs of slowing down, that number is expected to keep climbing.
The Environmental Protection Agency measures air quality on a scale from 0 to 500. The higher the number, the worse the air pollution. Last summer, the air quality in Detroit shot up to 230 due to wildfire smoke. As of 5 p.m. tonight, you can see most of Michigan is hovering right between 100 and 125. That's according to the EPA's Air Now website. Ann Arbor actually dropped from 120 AQI to 89 in the past 2 hours. Slight improvement there. Detroit is also improving, but is still above 100. Kalamazoo is still above 123 and Lansing 113. Hopefully these numbers will continue to improve as the sun begins to set.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's get over to forewarned meteorologist Brian Sherman for a breakdown of what this all means and when relief will arrive. Brian.
Kimberly and Ty, the word improvement is what we're going to be focusing on. While our air quality alert continues statewide until midnight tonight, it will not be continued into our Wednesday, except for the northern portions of the state, as we are going to see some of that smoke lift gradually, but I don't think we're out of the woods until closer toward the end of the week. We're into the unhealthy for sensitive range across the entire region, on and off throughout the day due to the smoke from those Canadian wildfires. I am expecting us to go into the moderate range looking ahead into our Wednesday. 80 degrees here in downtown Detroit, a mixture of sunshine and clouds outside our window with some of that haze and an isolated shower on Exact 40 radar showing up thanks to that lake breeze land breeze interaction, which is that light green line you're seeing here on Exact 40. So right around Romeo into northeastern portions of Oakland County near Oxford, an isolated shower. I think everybody else is dry into the evening hours tonight. We'll drop out of the upper 70s by 8 o'clock tonight, low 70s into the early portions of the overnight. We'll talk more about our smoke forecast and a return to more summer heat and humidity. Your full forewarned forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Brian. Meantime, the Detroit branch of the National Weather Service is taking to social media to make sure everyone understands what kind of risk our current air quality poses.
They're actually really concerned for those with heart disease and respiratory diseases like asthma. Our Erica Erickson joins us now with what One Metro Detroit Senior Center is doing to keep residents safe.
Yes, we know this air quality issue could be particularly harmful for our senior population. I'm here at St. Patrick's Senior Center in downtown Detroit with yoga instructor and retired nurse Lynette Smith. You know all about this. You've been dealing with this yourself. You felt symptoms.
Yes. Actually, I have. I've got my mask here. I can feel the effects on my body, and as seniors, we need to be aware that this could have an effect on us. Very subtly, perhaps, or even more aggressively.
Listen to your body.
And listen to our body, absolutely, absolutely.
And I know you teach yoga. You guys can't really do that outside.
No, we can't. And we have had periods where we did practice outside, but this would not be one of them. The air is just too bad. So we have to be aware, as you say, of our symptoms and respect it. Respect the fact that we are seniors and things are a little different sometimes. It doesn't mean we're weak or ill. It just means we need to pay more attention. We are in a high-risk group. Take care of yourself, continue to hydrate. Maybe at home, maybe you can close those windows, put your air conditioning on.
Maybe just limit your time outside for right now.
Yes, just for right now.
Thank you so much, Lynette.
You're so welcome.
And if you'd like some more tips for seniors and just avoiding some of that harmful air, we've got more details at clickondetroit.com. In downtown Detroit, Erica Erickson, back to you.
Thanks, Erica. Well, you probably heard it's primary day in Metro Detroit, a critical step in shaping the region's future, and your vote has real power.
From the mayor's office to city council, school boards to millage renewals, voters across Metro Detroit are making big decisions today. Tonight, the Local 4 team is tracking the races and the issues and the turnout, starting with where the stakes are highest and how the results could ripple far beyond today's vote.
There are just under 2 hours now left until the polls in Metro Detroit close. And while turnout is often low in primaries, the impact is anything but. So here in Detroit, we talked to voters heading to the polls today. They say the biggest issues on their minds are affordable housing, crime, and neighborhood investment, especially among Detroiters 50 and older. All these issues will, of course, be top of mind for the two mayoral candidates who will advance tonight and face off in November to replace current mayor Mike Duggan. This
is the city's first open mayoral election in more than a decade. 9 candidates are competing to replace outgoing Mayor Mike Duggan.
That's right. Will Jones is tracking this race very closely. Joins us live now from Detroit's west side with what voters are saying about the city's direction. Will.
Hey, Ty and Kimberly, we're at a polling place on Detroit's west side. That is the Walker Community Center located on Rosa Parks Boulevard. We've seen a steady trickle of folks going in to vote today, but there has not been a lot of activity. I spoke with some of those campaign workers who are outside trying to sway voters to their candidate, and they say that has been the same type of activity throughout the whole entire day. As you mentioned, I've been talking with voters over the last few hours about what they're looking for in their next mayor. Are they voting for change, or are they voting to stay the course? Here's what they told me.
I'm definitely voting for change in the direction. I want to see some changes be made out here. It's a lot that can be done. You know, I think Detroit is on the rise, but we can do better and we can go further. And I think it's only up from here.
I'm voting for change.
Why?
Because I would like to see more funding in the neighborhoods and not so much downtown.
Some campaigns are watching our newscast right now, and some candidates are happy to hear about voters looking for change. That could benefit some candidates more than others, but there is still time to turn out. Again, the prediction is low. Janice Whitfrey told me yesterday, that's a Detroit City Clerk, turnout between 13 and 18%. We're live on Detroit's West Side. Will Jones, Local 4.
Will, thanks so much. A last-minute legal challenge today in Detroit's primary election. Highland Park resident Robert Davis is demanding access to observe vote counting at precincts and absentee ballot locations after polls close tonight.
Davis claimed Detroit election officials were violating state law by limiting observation of vote counting to appointed challengers only. The judge in the case agreed with Davis and said the city should comply with state law, which she expects them to follow. We'll keep you posted on any further developments. Meantime, tensions are high in Hamtramck as voters are heading to the polls today as well. This year's races are drawing even more attention than usual. From city council to the mayor's office, controversy and community debate have made for a charged campaign season. Let's check in with our Lauren Kostick as voters head to the polls to decide who will lead the city there. Lauren?
Yeah, Kimberly, it's been, like you said, a very busy primary here in Hamtramck, mostly because of everything that's happened recently, the investigations and controversies into City Hall these last few months. And let me show you around. This is one of the polling locations here in the city. There's 5 of them, and there's also been tons of campaigning happening with cars driving by, also both sides of the sidewalk, even across the street in the homes. People are campaigning with their signs, passing things out. And that's because we got those 2 big races, city council and, of course, the mayor. So take a look. These are the 4 mayoral candidates running. They are all mostly new faces, except for Mahmoud, who is currently serving on the city council. He's also the candidate that is under investigation for allegedly living outside the city, something he has strongly denied. But like I said, it's been a large turnout for such a small city. We spoke to a voter and also the city clerk. Why do you want to come out and vote today?
I think it's important that we get the right people in office this time. This city's political climate is bad, and it's starting to hurt business and drive a lot of the diversity that makes this community so special out. Yeah.
It's a small community, but it's a very tight community. So everybody's family, everybody supports each other, everybody comes out for the little elections. It's not as big as the big ones, but everybody still comes out to support their people.
And if you remember, the current mayor is not seeking re-election because he is hoping to be confirmed with President Trump's nomination for the next ambassador of Kuwait. So no matter what, come November, there will be a new mayor, with us deciding, or the voters here deciding, who those 2 front runners will be tonight. So a lot happening. Those investigations definitely weighing on voters tonight. Live in Hamtramck, Lauren Kostick, Local 4.
Okay, Lauren, thank you. For more information on where your polling place is located or how to track your absentee ballot, we have a full voter guide right now on our website. Click on Detroit.com. You can find it right there on the homepage. And be sure to join us tonight at 10 for a special primary election edition of Local 4 News. We'll be bringing you live updates and breaking down the big issues voters are deciding across Metro Detroit. Tune in at 10 on Local 4 or stream it live on Local 4 Plus and click on Detroit.com. We'll also have the latest results when you wake up on Local 4 News starting at 4:30 a.m. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer spent time at the White House meeting with President Trump today. And in a statement, the governor says this, quote, "I told him and his team about the impact tariffs are having on Michigan's economy, especially our auto industry, the harm Michigan will face due to changes in the Medicaid program and ongoing recovery efforts following the ice storm in northern Michigan. This year, I've always said that I will work with anyone to get things done for Michigan. That's why I've continued to go to Washington, D.C. to make sure that Michiganders are front and center when critical decisions are being made."